Welcome again to the United Unbiased show. Welcome to part two of this interview with Coach Bob, Coach Reynolds, and Coach Winston, sharing their ideas on Jamaica's youth football and how we can actually develop it.
And thank you for having me again. So, yeah, you want me to speak to youth development and how probably we do it here in Canada.
Yes, man. Because I'd love to compare all three. So you have yes, definitely.
Yes, what we have adapted is a pyramid of play. A pyramid of player development, I should say. And I, for one, have gone and apart from the courses that I've done, I bought a book by Covier's. I think it's Covier's Pyramid of Play. And Cover's Pyramid of Play. And what it teaches you is that when a kid comes out and start to show interest in football, the base of the pyramid is skill or ball mastery. Ball mastery, ball mastery, ball mastery. That's the base of the pyramid. And I can show you a little, it's not bright. This is what I'm talking about. Ball mastery, the biggest part of the pyramid. They don't even start to play real competition until way up in the middle. Right? It's all about touching the ball, learning to manipulate the ball, have the ball at your feet, be comfortable on the ball, manage the football. Now, that is about, say, from 3. Once they get used to the ball now, and, they can make a pass, it's passing and receiving, and this is probably the next one. Yeah, passing and receiving. You get them to play little small-sided games. That's all small-sided games. We don't keep scores. So they play, and one of the main way that I get them to develop, once we get a little bit more intelligent, so now at say 4, 5, 6, they might start getting to a little bit more competitive stuff. It might be inter-club. Alrighty? And one of the main training that I use to get them to be more intelligent on the ball is like a 3v3 with a neutral. So something like this. So a 3v3 with a neutral in the middle.
Could you explain the neutral for our viewers? Because you might have some coaches.
The neutral in the middle. The neutral in the middle is you guys call it booty on both sides.
Yeah, jockey on both sides.
Right. So when these guys lose the ball, now it's a 4v3, so it's man up, man down, and they learn to play with less players. So now they have to start think, and your coach within this sphere. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
this is where you develop a lot of goal and game intelligence with little kids growing up. You also, what I see you guys don't do out there again, you never play with 4 goals. So 4 goals, this is definitely from the Dutch. 4 goals, 1 here, 1 there. You develop game intelligence. So game intelligence. You see what I mean? 4 goals. So you have a goal here, a goal here, a goal here. You can play the same 3v3 with a neutral. You can also make the goals scatter to develop goal intelligence. Now, you tell me how many times in Jamaica you ever seen a coach doing that?
All right. I'm going to direct that question. I'm just going to transition that question to Coach Reynolds because he's on the ground. Coach Reynolds? Coach has not seen. Coach, you hearing us?
He's stuck.
Yeah, man, we're not hearing Coach Reynolds.
I mean, but it looked like it freeze.
Yeah, I think he's mobile. I think he's mobile.
Coach Bob, help me out.
What that?
It's my bad. Yes, Coach Bob.
Yeah, man,
Good
Bob.
now. As it relates to that 3v3 with a neutral and 4 goals, right? Which coach back home, or when you were a young coach back home, were you familiar with that?
You referring to me?
No, man, Coach Bob.
Okay, Coach Bob.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought it was referring to Coach Reynolds.
Yeah, I'm trying to hear Coach Reynolds, but we seem to be having some reception problem with Coach Reynolds.
Okay. All right. Repeat that question for me again.
Coach,
I thought you made a reference to Jamaica.
Yeah, man, Coach. Because remember, when you were a young coach, or even the States, because this is one of the reasons why I wanted to have a coach from Canada, a coach from the States, a coach from Jamaica, and this is the main reason why. I'm looking at somebody like you mentioned earlier, McKenzie, the young lad from Juventus. McKinney from Juventus. You have a Des from Barcelona. You have a Pulisic at Chelsea.
Yeah.
And those are top clubs, right? You have Alphonso Davies now from Canada, who is considered probably the best left back playing club football right now.
Well, him start kind of dropping now.
Yeah, somewhat this year, but last
season
he was at top of the game.
Yeah. But that's growth. Him still growing.
Yeah, man, he's still learning, man. He's still learning. So one of the reasons is this. I am thinking about Jamaica football. We have a Leon Bailey, but that's just one. And even though we have a Leon Bailey, he's an average player. He's not an elite player, right? He's not at an elite side. This is Barcelona, McKinney, Juventus, what's his name? Pulisic, Chelsea. And we have Alphonso now at Bayern Munich, probably in the European Team of the Year last year. If I'm not lying, if I'm not mistaken. I think
Bayern. And them win Champions League.
So one of the reasons now is what is happening in the United States, what is happening in Canada versus what is happening in Jamaica, why we are not on that level producing that many players. So that is why I'm looking at youth football, because I think that is where it starts.
Okay. I think Coach Reynolds back on the scene. I see him,
I guess he's having reception problems. Go ahead for me. Go ahead.
All right. So first of all, I personally don't believe it's appropriate to compare, and I can speak for the United States with Jamaica when it comes to youth development.
Yeah.
Because here is some of the necessary tools and things that is needed in terms of the youth development. Finances is a big issue. Okay, facilities, equipment, right? The infrastructure in terms of how do we get these young players to get to the facility? How accessible is it for them to get there? How much, because the parent have to be involved from that young level, because most of these young players can't get to the place by themselves. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at all those factors, okay, that is, I believe, is some of the basis for the development to start and succeed. Because see, like I said, when I was in Jamaica, we started out in the streets. Facilities, I mean, I go to Jamaica all the time and I don't see any facilities, especially in the less fortunate environments.
True.
You know what I'm saying? I see the facilities, Bobby can have a place over there where the affluent people can, them have the wherewithal to transport them kids back and forth to the place. The less fortunate youngster, they live in some environment where there's no fields, there's no parental supervision to take them back and forth, So those are some things that are really, really, unfortunate. Now, like I tell you, here in Florida, you have parks all over the place, open fields, you know what I'm saying, where it's easily accessible and the parents have the ability, both financially and socially, to transport their child back and forth. And if they can't do it, they pool with some other parents that they work out that kind of a thing. So I haven't seen that type of, situation in Jamaica, right? I don't know. I don't see it. Now, the youth club football is a big aspect of the development here, right? In the US. And that's some of those systems that those guys that you mentioned, McKinney, Pulisic, and all them guys, they came out of youth clubs, right? That started from, very young age. And we talk about competition, but like coach, I'm not seeing a name on the thing,
Coach Winston.
Coach Winston, yeah. Like you mentioned, right? Even intra club, a 3v3 with 5 and 6 year old, that's competition, right? Now, we the coaches, we're not counting the goals, but trust me, them kids are counting the goals. But that's okay. You see what I'm saying? Because kids, hey, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, right? Everybody wants to score a goal. So the competition, there's nothing wrong with it.
Have to.
You see what I'm saying?
Have to.
Right?
It's not I'm saying that. It's like in Jamaica, Mr. Whitty can speak to it for me. The level of competition and the demand that is placed on the kids to how we are patient with our kids is quite different.
Sure.
That's what I'm trying.
That is true. True.
Coaching.
I'm trying, Bobby.
Hold on. Just a minute, Coach Winston, because we're getting something from Coach Reynolds now.
Yeah.
Coach Reynolds?
Yes, I apologize. Because as I said,
man.
yeah, man, I apologize. So I kind of find a little era now where basically I kind of park up and just. So I am figuring that the base of the discussion is on Jamaica's youth development. But I would have heard from Coach Winston and Coach Bob some stuff that are always useful. One of the things that I heard mentioned was resources.
Yes.
Strange enough, back in the days of Lenny Hyde and those guys, the resources were more scarce than the opportunities were less than now. Strange enough. So and to an extent, where youth development is concerned in terms of a basic structure at the youth level, we have come a far way. So let's agree on that. The resources are more, and we are a little bit more organized. So let's agree to that. The question should be asked though. A Raheem Sterling that left Jamaica at age 10. Would a Raheem Sterling?
I thought it was 5. My understanding was 5.
Age 5, age 4 or 5, yes.
5.
Yes, yeah. Age 4, between age 4 and 5. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. The question has always been asked. Is a Raheem Sterling, would a Raheem Sterling be the same Raheem Sterling as he is now if he had remained in Jamaica? Because we certainly don't know. He could have. And it could have been the opposite. We certainly don't know. Because one could also look at a Leon Bailey, who I saw at age 12, 13, 14, 15 in Jamaica knocking around. And he was, trust me, he was smooth when it comes to the basic. Coach Winston was discussing the whole aspect of approach to coaching youth. And that's where I think we need to get it right. Age 4 to 7, in my mind, you're developing interest. So you get them the ball, they run up and down, no restriction, you're developing interest. No competition. Age 8, 9, 10, more formalized in terms of identifying the fundamentals that you want to develop. Right? And at that stage, of course, the 3v3, the 4v4, because you want them to be touching the football as regular as possible. The size of the field has to be restricted because, again, you want them to be involved as regular as possible. Age 10, 11, and 12, continuation of the basic fundamentals. And here now you want to start bringing some sense of organization on the pitch in terms of formation. But the whole issue in my mind that Jamaica lacks also is the continuity. I had the privilege, and I would have mentioned on another program some time ago with Mark, the whole issue that I would have gone to an academy in Brazil for a couple of weeks. And between the ages of 11 to say 15, Jamaica can match the Brazilians or the Americans or the Portuguese. But the continuation from age 15, 16, 17 is where I think we need to focus more. When the youngster leaves schoolboy football at age 17, 18, what happens to him? Gone are the days, when a Linval Dixon or a Lenworth Hyde or those guys walk into the national program leaving school. You understand? We really don't have those kids now, and it is what is taking place with the kids between age 14 and 17. That's where I think we are falling off. So I'm hearing both coaches highlighting some useful stuff about lack of resources. We have to invest in our youth. Clearly Jamaica don't have the money, but we have to do a lot of investment. We have to get the private sectors, we have to get the parents, we have to get everybody involved, all the stakeholders, and see to what extent we can put together resources to assist with the development of the youngsters from age as early as age 4, as Coach Winston mentioned.
Can I jump in and just address something that he said?
Go ahead, man. No problem.
All right. Now you have to understand that there is not just one aspect of development, right? There are certain different avenues you can take to get to that development stage, right? So I think a variation of principles or system is okay. Now, what I try to do is I examine historically what other nations are doing and look at the trends of their youth, right? And what I do know about, and I speak of the UK, England, right? Their development starts from the primary school age. So this is how they work, right? Because I've had a cousin who was in that system, right? How it works is like in primary school, you have a part of them school program, PE, football is a part of it, right? So they have the necessary facilities to accommodate that. Now, what happens with that now? They start to identify the talents. And when they identify those talents now, those youngsters now are invited to the academy. This is how these academy systems start working. And the Klinsmann brought the same concept here, right? So they put them in that academy. So after school, their development continues. They go to after school, like an after school program, specifically for soccer. And who identifies them? The academy that they goes to, it's the professional academies. So now they have the professional coaches developing these players from a young age. This is why now today you see a lot of these young players and a plethora of those professional teams, whether it's EPL, Bundesliga, Serie La Liga, name it. You see them bringing some 16-year-old youths, 15-year-old youths, and those kids now are playing against grown players. They have already developed to the point now where people are paying to bring them into their system now. So what I've noticed here is I've seen a lot of coaches, and because of that concept where, well, they're gonna between 5 and 9 or whatever, they're just touching the ball, right? So here I know this is profound and prolific in Florida, right? When we have a group, because I have 4 youngsters that started playing this game from U6, and I coach all of them, two boys and 2 girls, right? And we had this, I used to call it Friday night go whack, because here in the US, what they do, they take these parent coaches and they have them from ages 4 till 9, and it's go, whack, kick, right? And then now, when they identify the athleticism of those players, because see what happens now, you may have 1 or 2 youngsters that are physically gifted, faster and all that stuff, and they stand out, but they don't have the basic foundations of the game. So when they bring these professional coaches in now to coach these guys at age 14, by the time 15 and thing come, because now a player who develops the right way now will overpass those guys. So I always say that we need the professional coaches from the early stages. Because when I coach, we were playing small-sided games, right? And this is years ago. My youngest child is 20, she's gonna be 23 next month. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't have them in any premier club or any no, I just keep them on, you know. But what I saw was we were at the park, you have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 teams, games going on, small-sided games, and everybody, kick it, Johnny, kick it. The kid is facing the corner flag and shoot it, you know. And I'm standing there, hey, control the ball, look up, you know, pass it to your teammate. You see what I'm saying? So those basic stuff, right? And then I look like I'm this jerk, you know what I'm saying? What is he doing, you know? So that's a part of the thing that, and I've seen it work. I had 6-year-olds, U6 as we call it, because we play competition here. U6, U7, and trust me, we lining up. Everybody got numbers on their backs, and we in that park playing. Referee, you know, assistant ref and coaches and all of that stuff. And I tell you, I started this possession game from an early age, right? Now, when Klinsmann came to the U.S. and started running the U.S. soccer program, he started implementing this thing now where he started to, what we call, we shrink the field, small-sided, you know, games now. And then what he started doing now, he came up with this build-out line. So you see like how they're doing the new back kicks now in the football, now they changed that law.
Yeah,
where
it's
you have a play to the box,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Klinsmann came with that years ago when he first came.
On
the youth level. On the youth level. Right?
Germany came with it here too.
Yeah, so what was amazing was that when they came with that, every coach was having a problem with it on the youth level, except yours truly here, because that was what my children were doing. Hey, we're not gonna whack the ball out there. You know what I'm saying? You didn't whack the ball and Johnny, go get it. No, pass it, look up, and you build to come up. So that is the philosophy right now. Every team now is possession. Yeah. You know,
Coach Bob, if I may, because Coach Reynolds, you touch a very valid point, and if I may, I just wanna, when you mention about when you went to Germany, not Germany, Brazil, you find that the Jamaican can match them, but I'll beg to differ with just a couple points. And this is what Coach David is Bobby saying. Physically and having heart and some technical abilities with the Jamaican players, youth players, is there, can match. But there are certain things that I find that is not there. And why I want to say that is because I respect them. Because I used to play on the street. I don't have any toenails. So what I want to say to you, Bob, when it comes down to adaptation, the Africans and the Caribbean kids will outmatch any players in the world.
Athletically.
Correct.
We
will match them.
Mm-hmm.
There are some that are technically gifted.
Coach Reynolds, him gone?
Gone. There are some that are very technically gifted, but when I went out there, I coached Company, and I coached Camperdown. Very skillful, quick. We can match them with speed. But to fine-tune them and to pay attention to detail, they do not have it, the way we learn to coach. So if I could pick them apart with certain things, and that's what I'm looking at. So the things that you're talking about when you start to get rid of the parent coach, I want to take you back to where you say you're in England. What kind of coaches you have coaching PE in England?
Well, you have teachers, but those teachers that are coaching PE, they are knowledgeable in the game, because remember that football is a big part of the England culture. You understand me?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Yeah. The level of development that they get, even at the schoolboy level, is quite different from what we get in Jamaica.
Right, that's what I'm saying, because we don't have the resource.
Yeah, and you know, the resource is not too bad, as Mr. Vassell said, because we are adaptable. We can take a grapefruit, I can tell you, and keep it up for hours. My kids here, I give them a ball to keep up, and if I turn my back around, they're not keeping it up. Because they do not want to be in harmony with the ball. In Jamaica, you don't have to beg them to develop a relationship with the ball. So they have certain attributes that these kids up here do not have. But I can take my kids who are 9, 10, 11, and come to Jamaica and beat you guys.
All right, let me ask you a question.
Because you're technically sound.
All right, I'm going to ask one question, Coach, because I remember having this conversation with the same Joe, and Joe mentioned to me about, we have this complaint about resources. We have this complaint about resources. And Joe made reference to certain nations who have less resource than Jamaica, far less resource than Jamaica. And if you go to the Premiership, if you go to the Bundesliga, Serie A, La Liga, you find players coming from those countries. And it was a classmate of mine, a female classmate of mine from primary level up to high school level. I had no idea that young lady know anything about football. Shout out to Raquel. Joe know exactly what I'm talking about. And she was saying that one of the biggest problems we have in Jamaica is the attitude of the players. The attitude. So you mentioned about being, we are, you said you have players back there in Canada who are technically sound, and they could come to Jamaica and they could actually outplay Jamaicans, not because they are more skillful, because, and I'm wondering if this is down to the attitude that you guys instill in these young players there, so they are so adaptable, they actually are so receptive that they would follow exactly the instructions that you are trying to impart to them, versus in Jamaica, where we have these young players having some attitude issues, and as a result, we don't actually do as well. We don't actually do as well as other countries. I don't know if what do you think about that?
That's for me. Is that for me?
Yes, you can speak to him, and Coach Bob can.
What I see happening.
Can you brief me on the comparison with the Brazilians and the Jamaicans quickly? Sorry.
Saying that. Sorry, I have to go back.
Come on, no problem.
The Jamaican kids, they're physical and some technical speed will match. But to be technically sound, they're behind.
The question is, what do we think contribute to that?
I think what contribute to that, and Coach Bob, you can jump in whenever time you want to help me with this one. The developmental stage that we are implementing up here. For example, you talk about Klinsmann. When I came to do my national B in the States, Klinsmann was one of my, he was there. Yeah. He wasn't the instructor because he was the head coach.
Yeah.
He came to give us one of the lecture. what we are doing up here, we are more patient with the kids through their developmental stage. We are more patient. So what has happened, you guys throw your kids into serious competition.
In other words, the Jamaican culture is too demanding at the youth level.
Demanding, that's where I'm going. Exactly, I mean not say anything else. It is too demanding at too early of an age. We do not have a proper transition from schoolboy to U21 to you, whatever. You guys do not have that to go play National League right away.
All right.
You guys have a U21 program out there? Competition?
Hold on, coach. I'm going to.
I didn't get that.
Do you guys have a under 21 competition out there other than the Premier League?
No. That was some years ago, probably about a decade ago.
You go. So therefore, you guys lose patience with the kid. We spend a little bit more time through the developmental stage than you guys do. And that's the key. We don't thrust them into heavy competition. Yes, the schoolboy soccer is something. It is a breeding place in Jamaica for potential player for the national program. And I don't want to touch that yet. I want you to come back to that so we can talk about that. How do we segue them into the national program?
But, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but if Mr. Bob can, Coach Bob can talk about it, we spend more time. We talk about, we play competition, you know, at 8 and 9, and they have the jersey. It's not serious like what I see in Jamaica. Come out there and I see not even water. They don't even want to change the kids off the field. If he's a good player, they don't even change the kids. Because if this kid is the best player, he played the entire game. Things like that we don't do.
It happens here in the US. Some coaches do that here. Yeah.
I mean, some coaches, but
yeah.
In clubs
I don't do that. I personally, as a coach, don't do that. Let me.
Coach, no, we don't. All right, we don't foster that.
Let me.
It must get equal playing time.
Not here. Not here. And I will tell you this. Whenever coaches assemble their teams, right?
Yeah.
They give this little spiel to the parents. And the first thing that they say is playing time is not guaranteed. Okay? I have seen and witnessed youngsters, U10, U11, U12, they will travel, take a plane to Texas. Parents would pay for this. And the child will get 1 minute of play time. And they're okay with that because the team win, right? So that happens. But let me ask this now. I wanna ask a question here, right? And I know you mentioned technique and physicality, right? Now, when I say resource, right, I don't mean material or financial resource. 100%, right?
Everything.
I'm talking about information. Information that I, as a coach or a player, can access some information that can contribute to the enhancement of my development, right? That's what I'm saying. That is not easily accessible as far as my knowledge in Jamaica is concerned. Because right now, a lot of the information that I get is on the internet, right? And I'm looking at, you know, even I'm a KC alumni, and I contribute stuff to the school. I run programs here, and and what I always know is that we're trying to send computers for the youth then. You know what I'm saying? Even the other day in Jamaica with the virtual school, kids didn't have any computer to access information. So I'm saying those are some of the resources that I'm talking about. When I was coaching children, every time as a coach, when I go and I find stuff that is relevant to the information, I copy it, and I carry stuff and I give them on the parent. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if those kind of things are happening in Jamaica. So when I say that, that's what I mean. Now, I want to say that when you mention technique, not technique, what do you say, technical, right? Which is a form of technique, and skill or tactical, whatever it is, that is 50% of the development. Okay? And what I find in Jamaica, this is kind of historical. Even when I was there playing as a youth, we emphasize, we deal with development on a 50% basis. Now, 50% is not a passing grade. In the US, 65 is passing, right? So if we're developing on the 50 percentile scale, then we're lacking 50%. Now, why I'm saying that is because there's 4 aspects of the development that I use with the youngsters, right? The technical, the tactical, the physical, and the psychological.
Thanks again for joining us on the United Unbiased show, the football talk. And listen, you must have learned something there. You must have learned something there, especially for those young coaches, man. You must have learned something. Now, like, share, watch, subscribe, and join us again on the United Unbiased show, where we share our ideas and we get very experienced persons to share with you guys. Thanks again for watching.